Hi, stamping friends. Welcome to my studio for a Fun Fold Friday. I am Lisa Fulford, your creative coach, and I'm so excited that you're here. I have an adorable card I want to share with all of you, and this is the card that we're going to make. It is a fun fold. It has the belly band. It has the different layers, and it just lays differently. I really don't know what you call this card. Hopefully, whenever I go to post it, then I'll look around and see what some other people are calling it. But I love this card. It turned out so pretty. I want to try to make it in some other designs, but this one here, I love this design, and I've been trying my best to use this whole suite of products. It's called the Gathering Moments is the stamp and die, but I think it's called Gathering Together Suite. So let's get started with this card. All right, so here's the card, and let's pull this open, and it unfolds like that, and it gives you a little bit of a surprise. So these two pieces make a nice little design going into this, and then when you open it up, there you go. So and the belly band, I did something a little different with that. I have the stitched shapes, and so I made a white stitch shape, and then I put all of my little elements on that piece, and then I stamped the piece that is a piece of designer series paper. And I had cut it out with the stitch shapes also, and the same size, and then put it over the top so that I wouldn't have any jagged edges. And then I put a couple little embellishments there with the little bow, and I just think that really set it off. And then in the back you can see a little bit, but it's not going to catch on that or have the stickiness to go on the back of the card. So let's put this all back together here and slide that back on, and I can just take and push that down. You can slide it wherever you want on the card. Let's turn this light on so that you can see what's going on with that. And I'm doing things a little bit different with my bits and pieces here, because this one has several. It is a quick one, but it does have several pieces of DSP and cardstock, but it's so worth it. So we have a piece of, it's pecan pie, and I'm going to grab my paper cutter, and this is at 5.5 by 11 inches, and we're going to do some scoring with that. So pecan pie, 5.5 by 11, scored at 1 1/4, 5.5, and 9. So we're going to do that scoring. Oh, 9 1/4, I guess, not 9. Sorry about that. So to do the 1 1/4, I'm going to start on this side and do the 1 1/4 because it's just easier with it up against the guide. So I'm going to get it to 1 1/4, and the scoring is the light. I have too much stuff on my desk here. Get it down here. There we go. So we're going to go here to on the right side, and there's a 1 1/4 this way, or 1 1/2 this way, 1 1/2 that way. So I'm going to put it up against that 1 1/4 on this right side. And then the scoring blade is this light gray one. And I'm going to score back and forth. Now I'm going to pick it up, and I'm going to turn it around as if I scored it here, and then put it through going the rest of the way. So I want 5.5. So right here, I'll do 5.5. And then we are going to do 9 1/4. There. So I'm going to move my paper down. 9 1/4. And that's all that we do with that. I have another piece here that is the pecan pie also, and it's 1 1/2 by 9 1/2, and it's, make certain I made it 9 1/2. I did, and then scored it 2 1/2. So I'm going to bring this back in, and I'm going to find that 2 1/2 right there, and score that. And then I'll show you how to do this. This is going to end up being our belly band. Put that there. I think that is all the scoring and that kind of stuff. All right, so then for the inside, I have a piece of Very Vanilla, and it is 4 inches by 5 1/4. So 4 by 5 1/4. So there's that. And then for our DSP, I have the Gathering Together, and I use the lightest color. And it's got a little bit of that. It's got some gold leafing in it. It's got some of the, I don't know if that's the basic gray or if that is the crumb cake in there, but I think it's basic gray. And that's 3 1/2 by 5 1/4. And you want that in portrait beings. So if your paper is directional, you want it in portrait because of the orientation of the actual card. So there's that. All right, so then this piece is going to go along with the belly band, and it's still that Gathering Together, and it's 1 1/4 wide by 9 1/2 long. And if it's directional paper, you'll want that on landscape. Mine is not necessarily directional, so it didn't matter, but if yours is, you'll want yours on landscape. All right, so then I have another piece here for that second panel there, and it's 1 1/2 by 5 1/4, and you want that also in portrait. Of course, mine's not directional. And then you have 2 pieces that are 1 inch by 5 1/4, and they're also in portrait. Mine do not matter because, once again, there's not directional, but you have 2 of those. You need to cut 2 of them. So that is our bits and pieces for our card that we're going to make. So I'm going to pull this down so this is the card we're going to make. And then we also have, where did it go? Oh, right here. We have a piece that is DSP, that is the stitch circle, and then also a piece of white stitch circle. And then, of course, I have my little elements here that I've already stamped and I already stamped them and die cut them out so that it would make things a lot easier making the card. So I'll put that right up there. All right, so let's get started with making this. So if you need to take a, screenshot of all, I made them bright so that it would be easy to see them all. And so I'll give you a moment, and then I'm going to start gathering these up. All right, so I do have a little bit of stamping to do, and I'm going to do that first so that it has a chance to dry. So I'm going to stick that to the back, that Very Vanilla, and we are going to stamp, the stamps that we're using. And I grabbed all the fall ones that I could, which I know, making it where it's all these different ones. So for the images, I'm using Gathering Moments, and I also die cut those out using the Gathering Moments dies. And I just put them on my case, and then I have one right here that I'm going to do the stamping on the inside with. Then this new set, this Amber Autumn, I love it. I love this font of this greeting, and so that we're going to also stamp on the inside with this leaf that I just showed you. So Amber Autumn, and there are dies that go with that also. And then this Artistic Leaves, I love this Grateful for You, this type of font, so I decided to use that. Now I could have used Thankful for You, I could have used You're Simply the Best, but I liked this font, and I think it went well with the other fonts as well. So there's that. So I want to do some stamping here. The colors that I used for my bits and pieces, I used Crushed Curry, Crumb Cake, Pecan Pie, and Cajun Craze. And I'm going to grab the Crushed Curry for the inside. These I've already used. I'm going to set them off to the side. And then I'm using Secret Sea for the stamping. I didn't want it that stark black, but I wanted it dark enough to be able to see it, especially on this DSP. And I love the Secret C for doing my stamping of sentiments. I absolutely love it. So I'm going to open this up. I'm going to take this and I'm going to ink this up. And if I have time, I'm going to try to show you how to put your stickers on your stamps. So hopefully I can get this straight. I'm praying that's straight because I don't have the sticker on there. Looks pretty good. And then I'm going to grab the Grateful for You. Now I'm going to set this a little closer to me. I can turn this light on as well. There we go. I don't know if that helps any. Just makes it a little bit easier if I have it closer to me that I can see where I'm stamping before I stamp. That looks pretty good as well. I have something here and I'm going to clean these off. All right, close this up. I don't want to get my hand in it. And then I want to open this crushed curry. Stamp there. And just tap. You don't want to press because it's a sponge stamp. And they store upside down. So this is how it is when it's open. When you pull it open, like to close it, and you flip it, this is now the top, and this ink pad is upside down so that the ink is always in the top of the pad. So just lightly tap. All right, so those are both stamped. I'm going to put those up there. All right, so this does not have the sticker on it. And I'm going to show you really quick, hopefully, how I do that. All right, so I'm going to pull this off this block now that I've stamped and everything else. So it's the blessings for you in my life. Blessed to have you in my life. Okay, so I'm going to peel. So I'm going to peel these back and fold them over. Okay. Now this is how I do it. And there's a couple ways you can do it. You can take and add this to a block and then set your stamp on it. But I have trouble when I do that. It wants to tear the foam on the back of this. So I peel those back and then I take this and I peel it completely off my paper. Okay, so I just have a little bit here. Now this part is what we're going to stick to the block, so I try to make it where it's not quite so sticky. And then make certain it's the right way. And then what I want to do is line up the part that's not sticky on the bottom. Line it up with the stamp. Hold my finger there. And start sitting the stamp sticker down like that. And then pull one off. Make sure it lines up. Pull the other one off. And look at that. It is perfectly on the stamp itself. And that's the only way that I can get them on where they're not like hanging off or a little crooked. So now when I go to stamp, that should be perfect with my wording on the other side. So that's how I do it. You can try, and if it works for you, that is awesome. So when I put it down, I just have two wings sticking out on one end. I don't put it down yet. I use the paper end to line it up, and then I hold my finger there while I stick part of this down, and then I just start peeling the paper off, and it makes it straight every time for me. I hope it works for you. I like to give those little tidbits of information, and hopefully they work for you. All right, so let's get started. This is the card base, 5.5 by 11, and it is on landscape, how we want to use this. And so it's 5.5 tall. So the way that I do this is I'm going to flip it this way, and I'm going to fold it in half to the left. Then I'm going to take that little flap and I'm going to fold it to the right. And then this little bitty flap, I don't know if you can see that score line. So in the middle, go to the left. This one here, I said the wrong thing. This score line, we're going to fold to the right. And then this score line right here, we're going to also fold to the right. And that makes our fun fold. So let me grab my bone folder. I'm going to crease that. I'm going to crease that. We're going to crease that. All right, so that is our card base. And it pops open like that. All right. So these are probably dry. We'll peel this off. Now grab this. There we go. There. Having trouble getting the glue to come out. I did leave it open a little bit ago, and that it just kind of dried up the tip of it. So you want to center it between the first and second score line. That looks good. Now one of those two that match, take that, peel that off. So these are the 1 inch by 5 1/4. We're going to add one to the inside here. This card goes together pretty quick, even though I took time and showed, how to do the stamp sticker. I have tried it all kinds of ways, and I get a little cattywampus whenever I'm doing all the other ways that everybody else is told. When I do it like that, I get it perfect about 99.8% of the time. Okay, so now we're going to put this, flip it over on the back of it, and we're going to glue it there. Same little tab. Just remember, when you flip it, because it is portrait, you want to just flip like this. You don't want to turn it around and flip it that way, because if it's directional, you don't want it to be upside down. So you want to flip it this way. Just to keep it horizontal, don't flip it towards you. Flip it to the right. I love this paper. It's got the gold kind of leafing in it with the veining of the leaves. I love it. So there's that. I'm going to flip this back around. So now then we need to put the piece on here, and that's the 1.5 by 5 1/4. And add, something is going on with my screen. Oh, there's a blue box on there. I'm not certain as to why, but there is. There. All right, so we're going to add this. I had glued to the back of this, and I'm going to add it on this panel. So it goes together so fast. And then we're going to open it up in this panel. We're going to take that 3.5 by 5 1/4 piece, and we're going to glue that there. And we're almost finished, at least with the card part. And then we're going to do the fun belly band. All right, so we're going to add that right here. I love this piece too because of all the gold on there and gold accents. And it's got some of the leaf. I was going to emboss it with those leaves, but then I'm like, it's so pretty. I don't think it needs anything more. So there is our card base. And when you pop it open, now if you want to put something else there, you're more than welcome to. I didn't think that it needed it. It's got a lot of pieces to it anyway. And if you keep putting too much, it will end up being too heavy. All right, so there's the card base. Now we're going to do the belly band. And this one's 1.5 by 9.5, and we're scored it at 2.5. I'll tell you why here in a moment. And then this one here is 1.25 by 9.5, and in landscape, and it is not scored, but I'll tell you why. All right, so we want to fold this on that score line, okay? And then I'm going to take it and I'm just going to wrap it around, and I don't want to make it really, really tight, but I want to, you know, at least kind of put a little bit of crease there. But this is the actual score line. All right, so we're going to add glue, to the back of this DSP, and we're going to add it to it, but we can't just glue it on and then fold it. It doesn't have enough give. And so, okay, so I'm going to put this right here and center it between here, and I'm trying to make it equal, okay? And I'm going to bring it, I'm just putting it on one end. I'm not doing it on the other end yet. Okay, trying to wiggle it a little bit, and then I'm going to crease it right there. Okay, so then that should be stuck. And then I'm going to add more glue on the back of this, of the DSP. Okay, we're going to work our way down to this other crease. So I want to make certain that's scored, and then I want to do this crease. And then make certain it's nice and adhered. And then I'm going to lay it this way so I can see the paper now. Now I just want to spread that all out. Okay, and then we're going to press this down. I could have started at the very end, but I would rather have started where I did and then be able to trim off this other end than to mess up one of the ends. So now that I'm going to just, this is less than what this other end is, so because you're putting creases in it, it stretches it. So there, that is trash. All right, so now then, take this like that. We can decide which way we want to go. I think I want the shorter end on top because this extends farther. All right, so then to glue these together, you're going to put glue on this right edge of what's on top, and then you want glue on the right edge of what's on the bottom. And when you crisscross them, there should be glue to hold all of it. And you don't want it tight, you just want to bring it together and line up those edges and hold. And hopefully nothing's squeezed out, and see it still slides. And we'll take this and we'll press it down and find my bone folder. I'm going to crease. Don't need it to be a tight crease. This one's the one that we had already, but I want it, like this one here was buckling, and I want it, I don't know if you could see right there, it was not giving me a good crease. So, and then it should come apart. There we go. So I can go ahead and slide this on, and it'll be ready for our stylish shapes when we have that finished. All right, we have that. Now then I'm going to grab one of the larger leaves. I'm going to grab one acorn, two acorns, one of those cute little things, and two of those. And then there's a bow. All right, so move that out of the way. And the bow is from the black and white and gold baker's twine. I thought that was fitting to go with everything. It had the gold, and it had that, even though it's white, it looks like it looks like that basic gray to me. All right, so we're not just going to glue this on here. We're going to make our layering. I'm going to decide how it is we want things. So that's how I had it before, and I think I'm going to go ahead and go with that. So let's start with the acorn. I'll put just a little dot of glue there. I'm going to tuck my acorn right there. I'm going to hold him a moment. And then along, I'm going to put a little glue on the tip of that acorn, and then along this edge here. And then the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put a dot of glue here on this leaf. And maybe farther out like that. And then I want to put just a little bit of glue. So I'm just building it up on top of the circle as opposed to the back of the circle. How about that? Thing looks pretty good. The acorn and this to stick together just a little bit better. If the glue oozes out on this side, that is perfectly fine because we're going to put that down. All right, so now then we're going to add glue to the back of this. And then I want to line it up. I think I might want it to go a little bit more. I'm just going to line things up like that. Okay. Give that a moment to dry. And then I want to bring in just a little bit of glue right here. We're going to add this leaf to it. I might bring it up just a hair more. Like that. And then I want to put the acorn. I just want to put it right here at the top of the acorn this time. We're going to go right here. Don't want any of the glue to seep out. And then we need a little glue dot. Take my scissors. I could use my take your pick, but my scissors are right here. I'm just going to roll it up into a ball. That. I want to put it up here at the top of this acorn, right there. And then we are going to take this little bow, put the knot of the bow right there. Isn't that cute? And here's the back of it. Here's the front. All right, so then we want to decide where we're going to sit it and what direction. So right here, because I know it's a pretty good width, I'm going to take, and I'm not going to get on the edge, I'm just going to stay where the DSP is. And I'm just going to go over that seam. I know I can go clear over to here and clear over there, but I'm just going to stay here in the middle. I want to line this up straight with my belly band. I'll pick it up so I can see. Whoops. Purposely did not press that down. Trying to get my words straight. Pretty straight there. Press and hold that for a moment. And nothing is glued, and it's just all right there on that belly band. You pull these little pieces down, and you just put it back under that belly band and slide that down just like that. So that is our Unfold Friday card. I don't remember what you call it. I'll just have to look it up and see and post it with the video. So I want to thank you so much for joining me, and hit the subscribe button and that little bell icon so you can be notified of my next upload. I greatly appreciate that. And in the comments below, let me know where you're viewing from. I really love to hear from you all, and let me know what you think of the card. I just found it to be an absolutely adorable card, and then with that paper, it's so gorgeous. I love it. And so to stay up to date with me and what's coming up and what events and classes and exclusive crafting tips and sales and different things that I offer, I'd love for you to join my email list. And then that way you will be in the know. So by signing up, you'll receive invitations to all of my events and updates straight to your inbox. And so you also will get exclusive sales that I'm going to start offering in the future, whether it be classes or like a free class or free gifts from me, like little mystery packets and things for orders. But I have a lot of fun things that are going to be coming your way. But to get the exclusive stuff, you have to join my email list. So if you join my email list, the link will be in the description below the video. So go ahead and click on that, and you will be receiving some fun things right to your inbox. So thank you so much for joining me. I have had so much fun, and it's been a privilege bringing you this card. I really hope you like it half as much as I do. And let me know if you try this card. I greatly appreciate it. So until next time, happy stamping.